So let's get right into it. The entire legal industry is wrestling with this massive billion-dollar information problem. You could even call it a crisis. But what if the answer isn't just throwing more people or more hours at it? What if it's a very specific, much smarter kind of AI? I mean, seriously, think about this question. It's what keeps lawyers up at night. For a single lawsuit, you could be sifting through millions, literally millions of documents. And if you miss that one critical email, that one tiny clause in a contract, you could lose the whole case. It's like a high-stakes digital treasure hunt, except the map is changing under your feet. And the scale of this thing is just staggering. We are talking about over 1.3 million lawyers in the United States alone, and pretty much all of them are grappling with this exact same challenge. This isn't a niche issue, it's an industry-wide problem that has absolutely hit a breaking point. Okay, so let's really get to the heart of it. We are living in a digital deluge. I mean, over 90% of all information today is born digital. And for law firms, this has turned the discovery process, where both sides have to exchange information, into this giant, costly bottleneck that is burning through billions of dollars. If you look at the spending right now, in 2024, the numbers tell you the whole story. A whopping 64% of e-discovery costs are sunk into manual document review. That's just paying teams of very expensive lawyers to manually read through mountains and mountains of data. It's a brute force approach, and frankly, it's incredibly inefficient. But there's a huge strategic shift happening. Projections for 2029 show that slice of the pie for manual review getting a whole lot smaller. So where's that money going? It's moving into technology. The smartest firms are figuring out that it's way better to invest in tech up front to shrink the haystack, instead of just paying more and more people to search for the needle. For decades, the main tool for finding that needle in the haystack has been keyword search. Simple enough, right? But with the kind of data we have today, this once revolutionary tool has become a huge liability. Let's break down why. So here's the difference, and it's a big one. Keyword search is completely literal. It finds the exact words you type in, but it has zero understanding of the actual meaning. So a search for breach of contract could totally miss a document that talks about a failure to perform, even though it means the same thing. AI-powered semantic search, on the other hand, is conceptual. It gets the intent, which means you get highly relevant results and way lower risk. And that risk, it is not a hypothetical. A landmark study found that old-school keyword searches can miss up to 80% of relevant documents. Just let that sink in for a second. The tool you're relying on could be making 4/5 of the most important evidence completely invisible to you. That is a massive case-losing blind spot. So, AI seems like the obvious hero, right? It's the smart magnet that can pull the needle right out of that haystack. But, and this is a big but, not all AI is created equal. The very same technology that can find your winning argument can also just invent facts out of thin air if you're not careful. This really dangerous flaw has a name: hallucination. It's what happens when a generative AI like ChatGPT essentially just makes stuff up. It predicts what a plausible-sounding answer should look like and then presents it as a hard fact, even when it is complete and utter fiction. And this isn't just some academic problem. It's had severe, real-world consequences. In the now infamous case of Mata via Avianca, lawyers were actually sanctioned by a judge because they cited fake court cases that an AI just invented. This isn't a small bug. It's a fundamental risk when you use a general-purpose AI for a profession that relies on facts. So, how do you get all the power of AI without all the peril? Well, the solution is to change the rules of the game. Instead of asking the AI to answer from memory, you force it to take an open book exam. And the technology that makes this happen is called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. It's a very specific AI architecture that's designed to solve this exact hallucination problem by grounding every single answer in a verified set of facts. So here's how that open book exam works. It's actually pretty simple. First, the RAG system retrieves the relevant info from a trusted data source, say your firm's private case files. Then, and this is the crucial part, it generates an answer based only on those facts it just found. It is not allowed to make anything up. This approach just changes everything. It nearly eliminates hallucinations because the AI is working from evidence, not from memory. It can give you the exact citations for every claim it makes, so a human can easily go back and check its work. And because it's connected to a live set of data, the information is always up to date. It's an architecture that's literally built for trust. Okay, so this all sounds fantastic in theory, but what about the bottom line? Let's talk about the actual tangible results. How does this really pay off in the real world? Check this out. One mid-sized litigation firm saved $1.2 million annually just on document review costs alone after they put this kind of AI into practice. And it's not just for the giant firms either. A small firm was able to slash its e-discovery costs by an incredible 90%. So this tech doesn't just save money, it actually levels the playing field, letting smaller players go toe-to-toe with the big guys. And here it is, the bottom line of the bottom line. When you add up all the benefits, the cost savings, the time savings, the fact that you can just do more work, the average return on investment for these legal AI projects is an astounding 285% within the first 18 months. That is a game changer. So the case is pretty clear. The data deluge is real, the old tools are broken, and a new kind of AI, one that's built for trust, is the way forward. But how do you actually get from here to there? Well, the path to victory is a strategic one. First, you have to audit your own operations and find the biggest pain points. Second, start small. Pick a high-impact pilot project to prove that it works. And third, partner with experts who really understand how to build these complex, enterprise-ready systems. At the end of the day, this isn't just a story about the legal profession. It's a story about truth. In a world that is drowning in data, the tools we use to find the facts, to find that signal in all the noise, well, they become everything. The legal field is tackling this challenge head-on right now. The real question is your industry ready for what's coming next?